Blood dripped from Jack Harlow's forehead as he crawled through twisted metal. The ship groaned around him. Sparks fell from broken wires overhead. Each breath hurt his ribs. He pulled himself forward on elbows, past bodies of crewmates he'd joked with just hours ago. Warning lights flashed red. A computerized voice repeated, "Hull breach in Sector 7 through 12. Oxygen levels critical." Jack coughed. The taste of copper filled his mouth. He needed to reach the emergency beacon. Nothing else mattered now. 6 hours earlier, Jack had been running diagnostics in the engine room. Just another day for a low-ranking engineer with 3 warnings for questioning orders. The ship's captain called him trouble. His fellow engineers called him paranoid. Jack called himself careful. His screen flashed with unusual readings. The shield harmonics showed tiny fluctuations, nothing that would trigger alarms, but enough to make Jack worried. "Sir, I'm seeing something strange in the defense grid," Jack said over the com. Lieutenant Morris sighed. "Harlow, we've got fleet exercises in 20 minutes. Is this another one of your hunches?" "The shield modulation is off by 0.3%. If someone knew about this weakness, log it for maintenance and get back to your station." Jack stared at his screen. Something felt wrong. He pulled up the long-range scanners, bypassing his clearance level. What he saw made his blood freeze. 12 ships approaching fast, their energy signatures unlike anything in human records. The alarm blared before Jack could report it. The ship rocked violently. He slammed into a wall as the lights flickered. "All hands to battle stations. Unknown vessels have opened fire. This is not a drill." Jack ran to his emergency post, passing panicked crew members. The ship shuddered again. This time, the lights went out completely before emergency power kicked in. "Direct hit to decks 3 and 4, someone shouted. Jack knew their shields had failed exactly where he'd spotted the weakness. He grabbed a nearby officer. "The bridge needs to know the shield harmonics are compromised. Follow orders, engineer." The officer pushed past him. Another blast hit. Harder. Jack was thrown across the corridor. When he stood, he saw the officer's body crushed under fallen beams. The ship's comm system crackled. "Bridge to all stations. Captain down. First officer down. We've lost weapons control." Jack made a decision. He ran against the flow of crew members, heading toward the auxiliary weapons control. If no one would listen, he'd have to act himself. The door was locked when he arrived. Jack pried open the manual override and forced his way in. The room was empty, its operators likely dead or at other emergency stations. Jack sat at the console. His hands flew across controls he wasn't authorized to touch. He bypassed safety protocols and took direct control of the remaining weapons. The view screen showed 3 alien ships closing in. Their design was like nothing Jack had seen, angular, with pulsing lights along their hulls. Jack targeted the lead ship. He fired the main cannons in a pattern that violated every combat doctrine he'd been taught. The energy beams hit the alien vessel at its apparent weak points junctions where the strange angles met. The alien ship exploded, then another, then a third. For a moment, Jack thought they might survive. Then the entire ship rocked with the worst impact yet. Alarms blared everywhere. Warning. Hull integrity failing. Multiple breaches detected. Warning. Enemy boarding parties detected. Jack knew it was over. He activated the ship's data recorder and sent everything battle footage, sensor readings, his shield findings, to an emergency beacon. Then he set the self-destruct sequence. As the countdown began, Jack recorded a final message. "This is Engineer Jack Harlow. We were ambushed by unknown forces. Their weapons ... An explosion cut him off. Fire and debris filled the room. Everything went black. Jack opened his eyes to bright lights. White ceiling, the beep of medical equipment. "He's awake," a voice said. A face appeared above him. A doctor in an Earth military uniform. "Mr. Harlow, You're in Military Hospital 7, in New Washington. Jack tried to speak. His throat felt like sandpaper. How? He managed. The doctor looked uncomfortable. You were found in an escape pod 3 weeks ago. Your ship was destroyed. Jack closed his eyes. The memories flooded back. The others? He asked. The doctor's silence was answer enough. That's impossible, Jack whispered. I never reached an escape pod. Jack sat on the edge of his hospital bed as 2 men in dark uniforms asked the same questions they'd been asking for days. Walk us through it again, Harlow. How did you target the alien vessels? Jack rubbed his temples. I told you. Their ships had junction points where the hull segments connected. I aimed there. The taller officer leaned forward. And how did you know that would work when our best tactical officers didn't? I didn't know. I guessed. Jack looked out the window at the military compound. Soldiers marched in perfect lines below. When will I be cleared to leave? The officers exchanged glances. That's not our decision. Later that day, a general with more medals than Jack could count entered his room. He didn't sit. Engineer Harlow, your combat footage has been reviewed by High Command. The general's face gave nothing away. The data you sent in that emergency beacon is now classified level 9. Jack frowned. Sir, with respect, that information could help protect our ships. It already has. The general handed him a tablet. Your new orders. You're being reassigned to the academy as a tactical instructor. Jack stared at the screen. I'm an engineer, not a teacher. You're whatever Earth needs you to be, Harlow. You survived something no one should have survived. You destroyed 3 alien warships with tactics no one has seen before. The general's voice hardened. The cadets need to learn from you. 2 weeks later, Jack walked through the gleaming halls of the academy. Cadets stopped talking when he passed. Their whispers followed him. That's him, the guy from the Dauntless. They say he killed hundreds of aliens. I heard he's the only survivor. Jack kept his eyes forward. The weight of being the only one who made it home hung on him like a stone. His first class was a disaster. Jack stood before 30 cadets who stared at him like he was some kind of hero. I'm not here to tell war stories, he said. I'm here to teach you what the manuals don't. A hand went up. A cadet with perfect posture and a smug face. Sir, is it true you violated direct orders during the battle? Jack felt his jaw tighten. Yes. Then with respect, sir, why should we listen to you? From the back of the room, a voice cut in. Because he's alive and everyone who followed the rules is dead. Jack looked up. A cadet with dark eyes and a serious face stared back at him. His uniform tag read Keller. After class, Colonel Vance cornered Jack in the hallway. Vance was a 20-year veteran with a chest full of medals and a face like carved stone. Harlow, Vance said, blocking his path. Let's get something straight. You're not a hero. You're a lucky fool who got his entire crew killed. Jack met his gaze. I never claimed to be a hero. Good, because heroes follow orders. Heroes don't abandon their posts. Vance stepped closer. I've watched that battle footage. You should have died with your ship. Jack felt cold anger rise in his chest. Maybe I did. That evening, Jack found Cadet Keller waiting outside his quarters. Sir, I wanted to ask you something about the alien ships. Jack hesitated. What's your first name, Cadet? Ryan, sir. Ryan Keller. What do you want to know, Ryan? The aliens attacked in a pattern. I've studied every space battle in human history. Their movements weren't random. They were ... ritualistic. Ryan's eyes were intense. No one else sees it, but you did, didn't you? Jack stared at the young cadet. How did you get access to that footage? It's classified. Ryan didn't answer directly. The Academy teaches us that space combat is about firepower and positioning. But you saw something else in those aliens. Something in how they think. Before Jack could respond, emergency sirens blared throughout the academy. Red lights flashed in the corridors. The academy-wide con system crackled to life. All instructors and senior cadets report to the main hall immediately. This is not a drill. Jack and Ryan ran down the corridor. They entered the packed hall as the Admiral's grim face appeared on the main screen. The outer colonies have fallen. The alien fleet has broken through our defenses. The Admiral's voice was steady but tight. They're heading toward Earth, and there are hundreds of them. The main hall buzzed with fear. Officers shouted orders while cadets stood frozen, watching the massive screen. It showed hundreds of alien ships moving toward Earth like a swarm of angry insects. Admiral Westfield stood at the front, his gray hair neat despite the chaos. Our remaining fleet will form a defensive line at Mars orbit. All Academy instructors with combat experience will join the fleet. All senior cadets are now on active duty. Jack pushed through the crowd toward the tactical display. He studied the alien formation, feeling his heart sink. "This won't work," he said, too loudly. Heads turned. Admiral Westfield narrowed his eyes. "Excuse me, Instructor Harlow." Jack pointed at the display. "Sir, they're using the same formation pattern I saw before. If we position our fleet like this, they'll cut through us in minutes. And you have a better suggestion?" The Admiral's voice was cold. "Yes, sir. Their ships move in ritual patterns. They attack in threes. They retreat in sevens. There's a logic to it we can exploit." Colonel Vance stepped forward. "Admiral, this man abandoned his post during battle. His theories are—" "I survived their attack," Jack cut in. "No one else did. That has to count for something." The room fell silent. Admiral Westfield studied Jack for a long moment. "You have 1 hour to present an alternative plan, Harlow. Don't waste my time." Jack turned to find Ryan Keller already at his side. "I need a room and 5 of your best tactical cadets," Jack told him. 30 minutes later, Jack stood before a wall of screens with Ryan and 4 other cadets. They replayed Jack's battle footage frame by frame. "There," Jack pointed. "See how they always turn at the same angle? And here they fire in bursts of 3, then pause for exactly 7 seconds." A female cadet named Lynn frowned. "It's like they're following a script. Or a ritual," Ryan added. "Like they're not just fighting, they're performing." Jack nodded. "Exactly. And rituals have rules. Rules we can break." They worked frantically, mapping patterns and running simulations. When they presented their findings to Admiral Westfield, the room was packed with officers. "The aliens aren't just fighting a war," Jack explained, showing their analysis. "They're following a combat ritual. Their ships move in patterns, based on what looks like religious significance. Numbers matter to them. Angles matter." He displayed a new battle plan on the main screen. "We need to split our fleet. 1/3 acts as bait, drawing them into the ritual response. The rest hit them when they're locked into their pattern." Admiral Westfield frowned. "You want me to sacrifice 1/3 of our remaining ships? To save Earth?" "Yes, sir." Colonel Vance slammed his fist on the table. "This is insanity. We should stick to proven tactics." "Proven to fail," Ryan said quietly. The Admiral studied the simulation. "What are our chances with this plan?" Jack met his eyes. "The computer gives it a 2% chance of success." Murmurs filled the room. "And conventional tactics?" the Admiral asked. 0%, Jack replied. "Sir, their fleet is too large. We can't win by fighting fair." Admiral Westfield was silent for a long moment. The weight of Earth's survival hung in the air. "We don't have time for a better plan," he finally said. "We'll implement Harlow's strategy." He turned to Jack. "But I need someone to test this theory before we commit the fleet. Someone who understands these patterns." Jack knew what was coming. "I'll go, sir." "With what crew?" Colonel Vance asked. "No veteran would volunteer for a suicide mission based on this theory." Ryan stepped forward. "I volunteer, sir." One by one, the other cadets in the room stepped forward too. Admiral Westfield nodded grimly. "Very well. Harlow, you'll command the Defiant. It's our newest prototype vessel, small, fast, and expendable. Your mission is to engage the alien vanguard and confirm your theory before we commit the main fleet. He looked at the young faces around Jack. These cadets will be your crew. You launch in 3 hours. As the room emptied, Colonel Vance approached Jack. You're leading these kids to their deaths. Harlow. Jack watched the alien fleet on the screen, moving inexorably toward Earth. No, he said. I'm giving them a chance to live. The Defiant cut through space like a knife, sleek and dark against the stars. On the bridge, Jack stood behind the pilot's chair where Cadet Lin guided the ship toward the massive alien fleet. All systems ready, Ryan reported from the tactical station. His voice was steady, but his knuckles were white on the console. Jack looked at the 6 cadets who made up his crew. None had ever seen real combat. All had volunteered to die with him. Remember the plan, Jack said. We need to draw their attention, make them respond to us in their ritual pattern. Once they commit, we exploit the gap in their formation. The main screen showed the alien armada. Hundreds of angular ships moved in perfect synchronization, like a single organism. They've spotted us, Lin announced. 3 ships breaking formation. Jack nodded. Just as we predicted. Prepare to engage. The alien vessels approached in a triangle formation. Their hulls pulsed with strange lights. They're charging weapons, Ryan said. Jack took a deep breath. Wait for it. Wait for it. ... now. Hard to port, full thrust. The Defiant lurched sideways as Lin executed the maneuver. Energy beams from the alien ships sliced through empty space where they had been moments before. Fire pattern Alpha, Jack ordered. Ryan fired the Defiants as weapons in the sequence they had planned, targeting the junction points on the lead alien ship. The vessel shuddered, then exploded in a ball of blue fire. It worked, a cadet shouted. Stay focused, Jack warned. Watch for their response. On cue, 7 more alien ships broke from the main fleet, moving in the ritual pattern Jack had predicted. Earth command to Defiant. Admiral Westfield's voice came through the comm. Are you confirming the pattern theory? Confirmed, sir, Jack replied. They're responding exactly as predicted. The main fleet is adjusting formation, creating a vulnerability at coordinates 227 by 84. Understood. The fleet is moving into position. Continue your diversion. The Defiant danced through space, drawing more alien ships away from their main formation. Each move was calculated to trigger specific responses from the aliens. They're adapting, Ryan called out as a blast rocked the ship. Pattern shifting. Jack studied the tactical display. No, they're not adapting. They're escalating to the next level of their ritual. Target the command ship, the one with the red pulsing lights. The Defiant fired again, scoring a direct hit. The alien command ship didn't explode, but its lights flickered. We've damaged it, Lin shouted. Another blast hit the Defiant, harder this time. The bridge lights flickered. A console exploded in sparks. Hull breach on deck 2, a cadet reported. Shields failing. Jack checked the tactical display. The Earth fleet was moving into position, but too slowly. The alien formation was starting to close the gap they had created. We need more time, Jack muttered. Another hit rocked the ship. Ryan was thrown from his station, slamming into a wall. Jack rushed to him. I'm okay, Ryan gasped, blood trickling from his forehead. The ship groaned around them. Warning lights flashed everywhere. Engine core destabilizing, Lin reported, her voice shaking. We can't take another hit. Jack looked at the tactical display again. The alien command ship was still vulnerable. The Earth fleet needed just 2 more minutes to get into position. He made his decision. Set course for the alien command ship. Full speed. The bridge went silent. Everyone understood. Sir? Lin asked quietly. We're going to ram it, Jack confirmed. The impact should create a chain reaction through their formation. It will give Earth's fleet the opening they need. Ryan pulled himself back to his station, wincing in pain. There's an escape pod on deck 3. Some of us could. No time. Jack cut him off. We do this together. The Defiant accelerated toward the alien command ship. On the screen, they could see its strange angles growing larger. 30 seconds to impact, Lynn announced. Jack looked at his young crew. It's been an honor. A massive explosion rocked the ship, throwing everyone to the floor. Jack's head slammed against metal. Through blurred vision, he saw the bridge filling with smoke. Engine core breach. Someone shouted, "We're breaking apart." Jack crawled to Ryan, who lay unconscious, blood pooling beneath him. With the last of his strength, Jack dragged Ryan's body toward the emergency shaft. "Abandon ship," he ordered the others. "Get to the escape pods." The Defiant shuddered and began to split apart as Jack pulled Ryan into the narrow escape pod. The door sealed automatically as the ship exploded around them. The tiny pod shot into space, tumbling away from the massive battle. Through the small viewport, Jack watched the Defiant collide with the alien command ship in a blinding flash of light. Then darkness took him. Sunlight streamed through tall windows into the academy classroom. 30 cadets sat in perfect rows, their faces solemn as they watched the large screen at the front. The battle footage showed explosions in space, ships moving in deadly dances against the blackness. "This is the miracle at Proxima," Instructor Wells said, pausing the footage. 3 months ago, this battle changed everything we knew about the war. The screen showed the Defiant, small against the massive alien fleet. The tiny ship moved in ways that seemed impossible, drawing enemy vessels away from their formation. "For years, we fought the aliens without understanding them," Wells continued. "We treated space combat like a chess game. Move and countermove." But engineer Jack Harlow saw something different. The footage showed the Defiant firing at specific points on the alien ships, causing chain reactions of explosions. Harlow realized the aliens weren't just fighting a war. They were performing a ritual. Their movements followed patterns based on their beliefs. Wells pointed to the screen. "Once we understood this, we could predict their responses." The footage continued, showing the Earth fleet moving into position as the Defiant drew more alien ships away. The Defiant's sacrifice created the opening our fleet needed. When the alien command ship was destroyed, their formation collapsed. For the first time, we pushed them back. The screen showed the Defiant accelerating toward the alien command ship. A bright flash filled the screen as the ships collided. Several cadets looked away. "The entire crew of the Defiant was lost," Wells said quietly. "Their sacrifice saved Earth." From the back of the room, a voice spoke. "That's me." Every head turned. A cadet with a scarred face stood up slowly. His uniform tag read Keller. The room fell silent. Instructor Wells stared, his mouth open. "Cadet Keller," he finally managed. "You were on the Defiant?" Ryan nodded. His face showed no emotion, but his eyes were intense. "I was tactical officer." "That's me on the screen." The other cadets stared at him in shock. Some whispered to each other. "But the reports said there were no survivors," Wells said. "They found our escape pod 2 weeks after the battle," Ryan explained, "drifting near Neptune. The military kept it quiet." A female cadet raised her hand. "What about Harlow? Did he survive too?" Ryan's face softened slightly. "Yes, Jack survived. But he refused all medals and recognition." He walked to the front of the room, pointing to the frozen image of the alien command ship. After the battle, Jack requested to work with the alien prisoners we captured. He learned their language. He studied their culture. Ryan turned to face the class. What he discovered changed everything. The room was completely silent now. Even Instructor Wells seemed captivated. "The aliens weren't invaders," Ryan continued. "They were refugees. Their home system was destroyed by something they call the darkness. When they encounter new species, their religion requires them to engage in ritual combat. He touched the screen, tracing the pattern of the alien ships. To them, war is sacred. The way you fight reveals your worth as a species. Jack was the first human to understand this. Instructor Wells found his voice. Where is Harlow now? Working with the alien representatives, Ryan said. Negotiating peace. He's not a tactical instructor anymore. He's becoming the first human to truly speak their language. Ryan looked around at the stunned faces of his fellow cadets. The war isn't over, but thanks to Jack, we're fighting it differently now. Not with bigger guns or better shields, but with understanding. The classroom door opened. A man in a simple gray uniform stood there. His face was weathered, with new scars, but his eyes were clear and focused. Jack Harlow nodded to Ryan, then looked at the cadets. The aliens have a saying, Jack said, his voice quiet but carrying to every corner of the room. The worthy enemy becomes the honored friend. He stepped into the classroom. I need volunteers. Not for battle this time. For something harder. He looked at each face in turn. I need people willing to understand an alien mind. To see beyond our differences. Ryan was the first to stand. One by one, other cadets rose from their seats. Jack smiled for the first time in months. Then let's begin.